I watched a mother lose everything she'd worked for in 30 years. Her retirement savings. Her home. Her peace of mind. All gone because she couldn't say one simple word to her daughter. No. This isn't a story about bad luck. It's about a pattern I've seen destroy families over and over again. Parents who guarantee their children's debts thinking they're helping. But here's the brutal truth. You're not helping. You're setting up a catastrophe that will hurt everyone you love. Let me tell you what really happens when you co-sign that loan. When you guarantee that business debt. When you put your house up as collateral for your child's dream. The consequences are far worse than you imagine. The woman I mentioned lost her home at 62 years old. Her daughter's business failed within 18 months. The bank came after the guarantor. That's how it works. They don't care about your retirement plans. They don't care that you're too old to start over. They want their money. Here's what most parents don't understand about guaranteeing debt. You're not just backing up your child. You're taking on full legal responsibility. If they can't pay, you pay. If they won't pay, you pay. If their business collapses, you pay. There's no middle ground. The statistics are terrifying. Studies show that over 40% of co-signed loans end up in default. That means 4 out of 10 parents who guarantee their children's debts will end up paying those debts themselves. Are you prepared for that reality? But the financial loss isn't even the worst part. The real tragedy is what happens to the relationship. I've watched families torn apart by money. Adult children who stop speaking to their parents. Parents who resent their children for destroying their security. Siblings who fight over who should help pay back the debt. Let me share another case. A father guaranteed his son's restaurant loan. $200,000. The restaurant seemed promising. Good location. Solid business plan. The father believed in his son's dream. Within 3 years, the restaurant closed. The father spent the next decade paying off that debt. He worked until he was 75. He never got to enjoy retirement. The son? He moved on. Started another venture. The father was left holding the bag. This isn't unusual. This is the typical outcome. Children move forward with their lives. Parents get stuck with the consequences. Now here's the part that might surprise you. Saying no is actually the greatest gift you can give your child. When you refuse to guarantee their debt, you're teaching them something invaluable. You're teaching them to stand on their own. To build real credit. To take genuine responsibility. Think about it this way. If your child can't qualify for a loan on their own, Teresa reason. Banks employ experts who analyze risk all day long. If those experts won't lend to your child without a guarantor, what does that tell you? It tells you the risk is too high. Your child might get angry when you say no. They might accuse you of not believing in them. They might say you don't love them enough. These words will hurt. But here's what you need to remember. Temporary disappointment is better than permanent financial ruin. Let's talk about what happens when children learn to succeed without parental guarantees. They become resourceful. They find investors who believe in their business model, not their family connections. They build smaller, more sustainable ventures. They learn to manage risk properly. I know a young entrepreneur who was furious when his parents refused to co-sign his business loan. He thought they were being cruel. Instead, he found 3 angel investors who each put in smaller amounts. Those investors mentored him, guided his decisions. His business succeeded because he had real accountability. Compare that to guaranteed loans. When parents guarantee debt, children often feel less pressure to succeed. Why? Because deep down, they know someone else will catch them if they fall. That safety net actually increases the chance of failure. Here's another critical point. Your retirement security isn't just about you. It's about not becoming a burden to your children later. When you destroy your financial foundation guaranteeing their debts, guess who has to support you in old age? Those same children. You've created a cycle of dependency that helps no one. Some parents argue that they have enough money to cover potential losses. Maybe you do today. But can you predict the future? Medical emergencies happen. Market crashes occur. Unexpected expenses arise. That comfortable cushion can disappear faster than you think. Let me address the cultural pressure many parents face. In some communities, refusing to help your child financially is seen as shameful. You might face judgment from relatives. Friends might whisper that you're selfish. But here's the truth. Those people won't be there when the bank takes your house. The alternative to guaranteeing debt isn't abandoning your children. You can help in other ways. Offer advice. Share your network. Provide emotional support. Even consider giving a small gift if you can afford it. But gifts are different from guarantees. Gifts don't put your entire financial future at risk. If you give money, give only what you can afford to lose. Never give so much that losing it would change your lifestyle. And never, ever put your primary residence at risk. Your home should be sacred. It's your ultimate safety net. Some parents ask about guaranteeing smaller amounts. Maybe just a few $1,000s. Here's the problem. Small guarantees often lead to larger ones. Your child comes back asking for more. You've already committed once, so saying no the second time feels harder. Before you know it, you're in deep. What about guaranteeing for responsible children? Kids who've always been reliable? Here's the hard truth. Business failure isn't always about character. Markets change. Competitors emerge. Economic downturns happen. Even the most responsible person can face circumstances beyond their control. Let me share what financial advisors see every day. Elderly clients living in poverty because they guaranteed their children's debts decades ago. These aren't bad parents. They're loving parents who made one devastating decision. A decision they can never undo. The psychological impact is profound too. Parents who lose everything often feel ashamed. They hide their situation from friends. They skip family gatherings because they can't afford gifts. They live with constant anxiety about money. All because they tried to help their child. So what should you say when your child asks you to guarantee their debt? Be honest. Be loving. But be firm. Explain that you believe in them, but you can't risk your financial security. Tell them that real success comes from standing on their own. Offer to help them find other solutions. Maybe they can start smaller. Build their business gradually. Save more before launching. Find partners who can share the risk. These alternatives might take longer, but they're infinitely safer for everyone involved. Remember, your child will face many challenges in life. Learning to overcome obstacles without parental financial rescue is one of the most valuable lessons they can learn. You're not being cruel. You're being wise. The hidden blessing in saying no is this. You preserve your relationship. Money destroys families. But when you maintain clear financial boundaries, you protect the love and respect between you and your children. You avoid the resentment that comes when financial arrangements go wrong. Years from now, your children will understand. They might not thank you immediately. But when they've built something real on their own merit, they'll recognize the gift you gave them. The gift of independence. The gift of genuine achievement. The gift of not destroying your life for their dreams. Your job as a parent is to raise adults who can stand on their own. Not to be their permanent safety net. Not to sacrifice your security for their ambitions. Love doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Sometimes love means having the courage to say no. Protect yourself. Protect your retirement. Protect your peace of mind. And in doing so, you'll actually be protecting your children from the guilt and burden of destroying their parents' lives. That's the real blessing. That's the true gift of learning to say no.